Okay, magandang gabi po sa inyo lahat. Welcome po sa ating program. Ako po si Sunny Laragan dito po sa ating program na Immigration Corner. Siyempre, ano, ayan, it's a Thursday event. Happy Thursday ho sa inyong lahat. Welcome ho sa ating programa. Ayan, isa na namang napakagandang evening ng talakayan, no? Information tungkol ho sa immigration. Ayun ho. Siyempre, meron tayong resident na, kumbaga, co-anchor natin dito sa program natin. Siyempre, dahil wala naman ako nalalaman sa immigration, ito yung programa lang ho natin that event, well, we had a segment and ito na ho, it became a program on its own, no? Dati ho, sa Sunny Laragan show, it's a segment, 30-minute segment supposedly, pero napaka-interesante ho. So we now, we decided to create a program, na Immigration Corner on its own. Alright, syempre meron tayong resident na napaka-talino, napakahusay, no? At napakabait. Walang iba kundi yung ating pinakamamahal na si Attorney Lira Simon Kabatbat. Attorney, magandang gabi sa iyo.
Happy Thursday, Sonny. Salamat po. What an introduction.
Oh, yes. Yes, magandang. Yeah, of course, syempre napakabait at napakahusay nating ano, no? Abogada. So good evening, attorney, ha? At kumusta? Medyo malamig-lamig na ba sa iyong kinalalagyan?
Ang lamig nga ngayon na, no? Definitely winter has come, no?
Oo nga.
I like the background. Yung background mo, bago, no? It's
Ah,
lovely.
yes. Oo nga.
Yeah.
Oh, it's the brick background that we have sa ating ano. Pati yung aking polo nag-match na rin sa background ko eh. Although brownie ng konti yun. Parang brick. Ano ba? How would you describe the color of yung bricks? Yung mga anong color ba yan? Brown, dark brown, red?
Dark. It's not really maroon, but yeah, probably. But no, gandang kulay. In a good background.
Ah.
Especially
Oo
winter.
nga, yeah.
Oh,
Eksakto, oo, winter. Oo nga, pag nga napunta ka sa Amerika, yung mga bahay doon, parang ano, pagka yung mga kaibigan natin nasa Amerika nadalaw dito, natutuwa sila dahil puro
oh.
brick houses dito eh. Sa Pilipinas, sa Amerika,
Mm,
merong mga bahay, puro may mga kahoy, di ba? Isa pagka ninipis pa niyan eh. Nadidinig mo yung nangyayari doon sa malayong kwarto sa malayo. Dahil nga, mga ano lang eh. Mga kahoy lang ang mga, ano tawag doon, ano tawag doon, yung dividers, di ba? Nagdi-divide, oo.
yeah, yeah.
Ay,
Good job na hindi
immigration, ano ba? Oh, marami nagpapatanong sa akin. Sabi ko, teka muna, immigration, sabi ko nun, paano na ho yan? Paglalabas ho kami at mag-holiday ho kami, makakabalik ho ba kami? Teka muna, pwede ho ba yung tanong kay Attorney Lira? Siguro tanong lang natin kung kaya, fine. Pero alam ko, meron tayong UK transition. They could probably go to the website, no? Kung anong mangyayari. Anyway, Attorney, kumusta, no? We missed you, ha? 1 week. Pagka 1 week, we look forward. At teka muna, meron tayong mga, sandali, checking ko lang yung ating ano, di ba? Uy, by the way nga pala, itong si Rudy Libroho, matagal na raw
Oh,
siya nag-email. Oo, tapos ano, kaya mag-i-email ako siguro sa iyo mamaya, i-email ko yung kanyang email address. Because when he won, actually yata parang kabe-birthday lang ng daughter niya and so we promised about 3 Doritos. Oo,
yeah.
so siguro baka akala niya baka kasama sa UK transition yung kanyang Doritos, ano? So
Hindi. But, Mr. Lebro, nanonood ka? My apologies. To be frank, no, na pinadala mo sa
natanggap
akin,
mo ba? Natanggap mo na ba
na,
yung email?
oh, yeah, nakuha ko nga, well, that was only a couple of weeks ago, pero nakalimutan ko. I
Oo.
completely forgot. So, ang gagawin ko, I will definitely send it. Actually, papadala kita I won't just send you 3. I'll send you a few more interests for failing to provide.
Hindi, kasi nga sabi niya, mukha yata baka nalunod na yung nagdala ng ano sa kanya, yung pangalan to, ng Doritos. Nagtatawid ng UK, papunta ng, ano, ng England, magbabangka
Well,
siguro, magsiswimming papunta sa Northern Ireland, no? Ayun, sabi ko, hindi, baka lang busy lang siguro na, ano, na, ako rin eh, meron tayong mga, ano eh, may mga, sometimes sa kabisihan, you meant to do it,
no.
and then gagawin mo na, you get distracted by something, di ba? And then nawala na yung ano mo, no? Yung gagawin mo, plano mo na yun. But you meant it. We meant it talaga. Ayan, yan na. Narinig mo na, Rudy, kay attorney. So natanggap pala niya a couple of weeks ago. Ayun, nagtataka kasi nag-message kasi si Rudy Libroho. Yung birthday kasi na anak yata, and I think
Yeah.
on that day that he was the first caller or first Hindi, teka muna. Ang gagawin, hindi, tignan ko kung magagawa, hindi natin magagawa muna ngayon, no? So, pero siguro this week, sige, I promise kasi last week na ang gagawin natin, all the people who would comment, we will do a comment picker. We will pick, tapos na daw the winner, di ba? As of now,
Mm.
we have the first person who greets us instantly becomes the winner, di ba?
Okay.
So, ang gagawin natin is what do you call this? Ito, hindi alam ko may message kanina si ano si mayroon tayong first message eh. Ah, hindi bale. Sige, batiin lang natin. Hindi kasi nga next week na ho natin. Sorry na I said no. Pero ngayon siguro let's stand by yung ating original na first na bumati, no? Yung unang bumati,
Yeah,
hindi ko
yeah.
makita rito sa ano. Paano ba to? Ba, hindi ko makita rito sa ano. May may problema sa ano pag when you watch the show kasi no pag nag-scroll up na parang hindi mo na ma-pick up eh. Anyway,
Mm.
sige ho ito ang unang yeah, okay. Unang bumati yata sa atin no pag hindi tayo nagkakamali. Next time okay, ang unang bumati sa atin attorney sandali lang ha. Checkin lang natin ha. Is ito si Ma'am Cora Carsola, double check lang natin no.
Oh, talaga? Oh,
Um,
that's nice.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, ito, she's very supportive. Lagi niya sinasabi na ang show natin kumbaga, information to, di ba? We get to learn things dito sa ating show. So, ito, ang dali lang ha. Inaano ko lang, ina-adjust lang natin yung mensahe, no? Okay, sandali lang. Ma'am Cora, sandali lang ha. Inaano lang natin, tinitingnan lang natin kung tama itong pinipick up natin kasi baka hindi na-pick up eh. Hindi itong, ano, sorry, sandali lang ha. Okay. Ayan. Ako maganda ang tatalakayin natin ngayon. Ang topic natin, attorney ngayon is ano overstaying children, no? Tama ba 'yon?
Yeah.
Children who
So, I mean,
overstay,
yeah. So,
di
last
ba?
week, di ba, umpisa natin yung malaking topic nga, sabi ko,
Oo.
overstayers. Really, overstayers. So, the topic is it's probably one of the biggest topics in immigration nga. Ang dami mo kailangan tignan nga, and also possible scenarios on top of that, possible legal provisions nga na kailangan mong pag-aralan. So it truly is a very very big topic. Now, following on from that pinangako nga natin, okay, let's continue with it, just because it's
Mhm.
impossible na matapos nga natin in one show. So today, I thought ang pag-usapan nga natin, overstayers pa rin, pero focus on sa mga bata, children, no? Because it's obviously also a very important topic, especially kung dito na nga sila lumaki, o kaya sometimes dito nga sila pinanganak. But even if it were not the case, no, kung nandito na sila, natagalan na nga sila dito ng buhay nila, dito na sila komportable, no? And marami nga silang mga kaibigan, magandang eskwela, ganoon. It would be, it's devastating, of course, for them at saka sa magulang nga nila kung kailangan nilang umuwi. And sometimes, as I was saying, it's it doesn't have to be, no? Na kailangan yung meron kayong laban. So, I thought ang gawin natin ngayon, mag-focus tayo sa mga bata. And then picking up from also yung format natin last time, I thought we can have a look at yung scenario ba. So, ready ka na ba, Sonny? So, shall we make a start?
Yeah, yes. Oh, yeah.
Yeah?
Okay. Ready na ako. Yes. I'm all ears. I'm all ears.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Sige, attorney.
So, itong
Go.
so
Yeah.
istorya natin, kwento natin. So, the mother, tawagin natin siya, let's just say, she's Maria, no? Okay? So, the scenario is, si Maria, dumating siya dito in 2011, so some 9 years ago. Kasama niya yung anak niya, her daughter, who was at the time, sabihin natin, 3 years old. Okay? Now, they were visiting Maria's mother, the grandma nga, who has since passed away. Okay? Now, both mother and child, yung anak nga niya, yung visa nila, it was a visit visa, and it expired after 6 months of entering the United Kingdom. No other applications were made. So nandito nga sila, TNT nga lang. No? Now, in 2012, a year after their arrival in the United Kingdom, Maria formed a brief relationship with a man who also did not have a visa. Okay? Now, yung relationship na yun, it was only a short time, it ended. But the mother, Maria, fell pregnant with her second child. No? This time, a boy, now who left before the child was born. So walang pakialam yung tatay. No? Now, her son, sabihin natin, was born in the UK in 2013, so 7 years ago. Now, the position now is yung nanay, she's been in the United Kingdom for 9 years. Okay? Yung anak niya, yung babae, she's been in the United Kingdom, she's now 12. Okay? And obviously also been in the United Kingdom for 9 years. Now, and tsaka yung bunso niya, yung lalaki, her son is now 7 years old. Now, si Maria, like a lot of parents, she has to work, of course, kahit nga bawal. So, now, ang question nila, so we're advising Maria, no? Anong kailangan niyang gawin, no? So, ang tanong nila, should they apply for visa to regularize their stay in the United Kingdom? At the moment, TNT nga sila, lahat, no? Now, if they do apply, okay, what factors will the Home Office be looking at? So, anong ang sasabihin ng Home Office? Anong titignan nga nila, no? And of course, how should they prepare their applications? Yung tatlong tanong yung titignan natin. So, now, unang-una, should they apply for visa? Quick answer is absolutely. No? They have actually quite a fair chance of succeeding, and I'll elaborate on those. But so the answer is absolutely they should make an application. Now, pangalawa, and this gets a bit trickier. So, what will the Home Office be looking at? No? Now, so there, really, I suppose if you're going to break it down, it would be immigration rules. No, yun ang una nilang titignan. Okay, they will probably look at also case law. No, so what cases would be applicable nga. No, and anything else that's not necessarily within immigration rules. So batas nga pa rin, but other things that they would look at, including, say, human rights. But I won't go into human rights too much at the moment. So, immigration rules, anong titingnan nga nila? Now, for those of you who want to look this up, the immigration rules, one of the immigration rules that would apply in Maria's case is paragraph 276ADE number 4. Okay? Now, babasahin ko yun. So, sabi doon, that provides that the requirements to be met by an applicant for leave to remain on the grounds of private life in the UK are that at the date of the application, the applicant, yung bata in this case, is under the age of 18, has lived in the United Kingdom for at least 7 years, and it would not be reasonable to expect the applicant to leave the UK. Now, so yun ang una. Now, the fact that the children, yung anak ni Maria, yung dalawang anak niya, are clearly both under 18, so okay nga yun. Have lived in the UK continuously for a minimum of for at least 7 years. Again, that's okay. Dahil yung anak niyang babae, now 12 years old, she's been in the United Kingdom same time as Maria, 9 years na, so she's been continuously living in the UK for the minimum now 7 years. Now, on top of that, yung bunso niya, yung lalaki, he was born in the UK and has also been living in the United Kingdom a total of 7 years. So, okay nga din yun, no? Yung pangalawa. Now, pangatlo, and this is where it often becomes a problem. So, sabi doon, it would not be reasonable to expect the applicant to leave the United Kingdom. And it's that issue of reasonableness, no? And there'll be many case laws to try and define what is reasonable. Okay? Now, the things that they focus on, yung home office and indeed the courts, is things like nga edad ng bata. So, yung babae ni Maria, she's now 12 years old, no? So, she is therefore she's started then her secondary school, no? And dumating nga siya dito when she was only 3. She has studied all her primary school nga in the United Kingdom, no? So that would be quite a positive factor in their case. No? Now, yung pinanganak dito, yung bunso niya, of course, he has not known any other country apart from the United Kingdom. And at 7, he would also have established private life. Arguably, maybe not as strong as Ate. That Ate has been in the UK for a total of 9 years, and of course she's a bit older, no, at 12 years old. But all those things may point nga to reasonableness, no, or unreasonableness to expect the child to leave the UK. Now, on top of that, it would be things like marunong ba sila mag-Tagalog, no? That would be one thing. May sakit ba sila? Are they generally healthy? If not, anong problema, no? It would also be things like, well, anong gagawin ni Maria kung uuwi nga sila? Meron ba silang maasahan sa atin, no? Meron ba siyang pamilya na matutuluyan sa atin o hindi ba, no? Dito, meron ba silang mga kaibigan o kahit hindi nga ama o partner, that meron ba silang mga kamag-anak, mga katulog? So all those things actually may point to whether or not it's reasonable to expect the applicant, yung mga bata, to leave the United Kingdom. Now, let's not forget also, of course, it's one thing to say, okay, ito magagamit ng mga bata. It's also important to look at it from Maria's point of view, because of course she wants to stay in the UK with her children. Now, the relevant law, one of the things that the Home Office will look at, or should look at nga, and indeed the court, would be Section 117B of the Nationality, Immigration and Asylum Act. Now, yun, sabi diyon, para kay Maria, now, the person must have a genuine and subsisting parental relationship with a qualifying child. The qualifying child in this case is the boy and the girl nga, no? So that's not a problem because Maria is their mother and she has a relationship nga with them. Inaalagaan nga yung mga bata. And again, comes back this reasonableness. So, and it would not be reasonable to expect the child to leave the United Kingdom. So actually for both, no, yung titignan nila, is it reasonable to expect the child to leave the United Kingdom? So there, and I'll touch on this later on, you must prepare your case, no? And it's for you to obviously provide evidence nga. Now, I'll move very swiftly onto another bit of legislation nga. And it's called Section 55. And some of those of you mga kaklayante ko who have had similar issues nga, you would have heard me mention yung Section 55. Section 55 of the Borders, Citizenship and Immigration Act 2009, sabi doon, it promotes essentially welfare of children in the United Kingdom, no, best interest of children. So, kung may mga bata, ang sabi ng batas na iyon is you need to look at their interest, no? Any decision you make must be in their best interest, no? It's not the only thing, but it is right up there. Yung kailangan nilang tignan is the decision in the child's best interest, no? And that often is the thing that people sometimes nga forget when they're making representations. So importante nga, if you're sending letters to the Home Office o kayang statement nyo, kung meron mga bata, you must also focus on their best interest. So, yung nga, sabi ko, kung may sakit sila, you must say. Kung matagal na nga sila dito, of course, you must also say. Kung marami silang, if they're doing very well at school, no? You must also say. Dahil sasabihin mo, it's not reasonable, and therefore it would not be in their best interest to make them leave the United Kingdom because yung circumstances nyo nga. So, but it's quite an important thing, and sometimes I get quite disappointed when I look at some cases that I take over nga. that there's no mention of Section 55. When Section 55 is one of the main things, one of the factors nga na kailangan yung tignan and actually put forward to the Home Office when you're making an application that has that involve children. It is a must. You must include Section 55 because this is one of the strongest factors actually that you can put forward. Now, there are many other things that will come into it. So as far as immigration rules are concerned, but there, suffice to say, those are the two or three main things. Of course, don't forget, there's also Article 8, human rights, right to family, private life. But we won't go into those, into Article 8 in too much detail today, but I'm happy to take questions later on. Now, so yung batas ang unang titignan ni Maria. So if we're advising Maria, sasabihin natin, okay, itong batas, itong titignan ng Home Office, these are the things that we also need to satisfy. No? So yung una. Now, one of the things then, the next thing they will look at, or you should also look at, is case law. No? So in the UK, of course, there are the immigration rules, there are the rules, there are provisions like that, but also case law. No? It's a common law system, so titignan nga nila, ano ba when you go to court, I mean, what has a court said, especially the higher courts, Court of Appeal, for example. Now, on that note, there's actually a Philippine case. No? It's a bit older now, it's 2014. Ang pangalan EV, tapos in brackets Philippines, 2014, it was Court of Appeal case. Now, yun, and this is probably familiar to some viewers nga. So the family consisted of mother, father, and 3 children. Okay, all of them are Filipino or were Filipino, and they were all born in the Philippines. Okay, now mother was resident in the UK lawfully at the time, under the work permit regime. So work permit holder siya from June 2007. Now, she was then joined by the rest of her family less than a year later in April 2008. Now, an extension for application of her visa was made in 2011, for all of them actually, but that application was refused mistakenly. Now, so since it then kind of, as sometimes happens nga, applications are made, it's then refused, and then appeal, and after appeal. So lots of things went wrong to the point that it went then to the Court of Appeal. That was back in years later in 2014. So they won their case, I'm pleased to say. So, and the court also established a number of factors na kailangan yung tingnan, sabi, if you're dealing with best interests of children. So ililista ko yon. So just to summarize it, so they will look at things like edad ng bata, length of time that they have been in the United Kingdom. So the longer they are in the UK, the stronger the case is. How long have they been in education? In the case of Maria, yung bata, yung babae niya, she's been in education in the UK. Well, actually, both of them near enough, probably all their lives spent in the UK. Now, what stage their education has reached? So Maria's daughter, for example, in this case, she's now in secondary, because she's age 12. So also, to what extent have they been distanced, from the country to which they are proposed to return? So, kung babalik nga sila sa Pinas, meron pa ba silang mag-Tagalog, Meron ba silang mga kamag-anak doon? Meron ba silang contact? Siguro, especially mga bata, probably less likely, Tayong matatanda, we make the effort to make phone calls nga, o kaya, in the olden days, nagsusulatan tayo, but with children, more often than not, wala na silang contact. Minsan, I suspect, they say hello, lola, auntie, ganon. But they may be na masasabi nyo that they don't really have a quality contact anymore with people nga in the Philippines. Now, how renewable their connection with it may be. So by that, they could mean, well, if they go back, would they be able to get used to the lifestyle in the Philippines that quickly, for example? and to some extent it's to do with the length of time they've been away. Now, to what extent do they have any linguistic, medical, or other difficulties in adapting to life in that country? So, yung mga anak ni Maria in this case is they're fairly healthy, but in case there's anything not quite right, anything really from perhaps nothing so bad, such as maybe asthma, you should still put that forward. But of course, the more the worse your medical condition is, the more important that becomes. Now, so, and if you're looking to put that forward, you need to also you need to say so, and as I'll say later on also, you need to evidence it. Pero importante nga kung yun kung sasabihin niyo yon, kung kasama yun sa ano niyo sa sitwasyon niyo, you must say it. Do not expect the Home Office to make inquiries. It's for you to say so. Now, other things is to the extent to which the course going back will interfere with their family life. So, for example, nandito na sila, so in the case of Maria, kung meron siyang mga kaibigan na ang trato ng mga bata sa kanila lola or lolo, or they see them on a regular basis. Kung uuwi nga sila, it means, of course, that changes that relationship for good, no? So those things are looked at, sabi nung kasong EV Philippines, they need to be considered when the Home Office and indeed the courts are looking at what is in children's best interest. And in the case of Maria's children, so we would advise that, okay, yung edad nga nila, they're now they've grown up in the UK. Even though yung panganay nga niya hindi siya pinanganak dito really from the age of 3, she won't probably remember kung anong nangyari from 0 to 3, but she remembers everything that has happened in the United Kingdom. Mga kaibigan niya at 12, they definitely have established a strong private life dahil mga kaibigan nila and any other relatives, of course, pamilya nga in the UK. On top of that, of course, importante nga din education nila. Education in the Philippine sistema nga natin iba, dito. So how would they then cope, if they were to leave the UK to go to the Philippines? Would they be behind? Possibly, especially kung Tagalog kailangan nila. So those are the things that this EV Philippines, interestingly, is established. There are many cases to do really with children, but that's one of the main ones, yung EV Philippines, and coincidentally, it's of course to do with a Filipino family. Now, the third thing is we would advise Maria on is how should they prepare their application. So it is as important to know this as it is to know the law. That's one thing to say, okay, these are the laws that are applicable to our case, but of course you need to apply it to your facts. And one way of doing that, or the main way of doing that, is prepare your case properly. So evidence is king in this case. So it starts really with kung anumang representations nyo or statements nyo. You need to be clear. I don't generally encourage people to send kind of emotional statements because that's not really what the Home Office need. Ang kailangan nilang makita is this, what is the law nga that applies, and how do you yung sitwasyon nyo, how do you is that within those provisions? So to say to them to try and make an emotional plea will probably be less useful, than to be able to say, well, the child is doing very well at school, for example, or they don't speak Tagalog nga, or that merong lolo dito. So I'm not saying be just factual, because of course it is an emotional thing, but do not just rely on that you will make them feel bad in not granting your application, because that's not how it works, no? Now, if you are saying that the children, so looking at it from basic. So ang sinasabi mo, okay, ang mga bata is, in Maria's case, her daughter is now 12, her son is 7, pinanganak dito. So start with the basic. If you're saying, okay, dito sila pinanganak the son was born here, birth certificate, okay? Padala nyo yun. Now, it's not enough to say, dito nga siya pinanganak, and then assume that they will accept that he's been in the UK or throughout. Don't assume that. They won't, yung Home Office. So, good evidence would be kung may eskwela, no? Yung mga school reports ng mga bata, especially yung babae nga niya, because of course she's been studying in the UK, all the primary and part of secondary na, no? So, there you need to be able to show, or you could show by providing the school reports, that they've been in the United Kingdom throughout the time that in the Bunso, from the beginning, from when he was essentially born, pretty much, no? Medical reports, okay? So doctors, yung mga bata, especially si Bunso, he would have received what they often call a red book, no, from the GP. So it's for you to show. So basically, basics is kailan siya dumating dito. So yung bae nga 9 years ago. So passport niya, and since then school reports, no, extracurricular. So mga clubs nila, for example. Now, so they are quite important, no. You can also submit pictures, but I would also dial down a little bit on photos. No, there's no point sending them 100 photos. I think it's if you send them, say, 10 to kind of show, no, maliit pa nga sila hanggang ngayon, that probably is already enough. No? Now, also, kung may sakit sila, medical problems you must provide. Now, interestingly, and this is something also that I kind of advise certain certain clients nga. In this case, yung anak ni Maria, the 12-year-old nga, because of her age, kung bigla siyang aalis nga sa UK, no? Tapos kahit nga hindi Pinas, anywhere else, no? It could be that has a mental impact on her, no? Especially because she's nearly a teenager, no? If you think that is a possibility, na kung aalis nga siya dito, or both of them really, that it would impact on their mental health, then one thing you could do to try and, if you like, prove that would be a report, either psychologist or psychiatrist report. No, there are people who specialize particularly in children, no, and you probably want to go to them. But beware, though, they can be quite expensive. Yeah, but sometimes it is quite helpful, no, that you have not, it be like, no, an independent report that goes on about the real possibility of mental health issues, no, if the children are removed from the United Kingdom, no. Now, going back to the issue of schools, so if they're doing very well, no, then also say that, yeah. So kung if they're particularly gifted in maths, or meron silang scholarship, or meron science, you know, so they will probably have something up in the report saying exactly that, or indeed certificates if they're competing, for example. Put that forward, because it shows nga, that these are children who are doing well at school, settled, no, and to remove them from an environment where they're thriving, no, to an unknown environment, no, effectively, would probably not be in their, going back to the same thing, you know, best interest, no. Now, on top of that, let's not forget Maria, no, anong qualifications niya, no? Is she able to have be able to provide for them in the Philippines, no? Meron ba siyang maasahan sa atin, no? Nando ba lolo, lola nila, no? Kung wala, then also say that, no? Any family left in the Philippines, may mga auntie, ganoon. Kung wala, again, you must say that. Now, also, sometimes also if you like the cultural issues also sometimes nga sa Pinas. Now, yung si Bunso, he was born out of wedlock and wala nga yung tatay. I mean, is the case that can that also be a factor, no? Would he get teased, for example? Is that something that's perhaps stronger in the Philippines rather than, say, the United Kingdom, no? So those things, it is for you to prepare your application, no? Pagka napasok yung application, hindi kayo tatawagan ng home office na sasabihin nila, kulang ito, meron ka pa bang up-to-date documents, meron ba kayong medical report? Hindi yung gagawin nila, no? They will make a decision kung ano man on the documents that you provided. If you're lucky, they may ask for some documents. But most of the time, I would say 99% of the time, kung ano man ang pinasok nyo, they will limit their investigations and indeed later on make the decisions on exactly that. No? So it's important that you prepare it. No? It is nevertheless, it is quite it can be quite a complex case kung may mga bata. But at the same time, kung may mga bata, it would also be fair to say that it gives you also a stronger case. And so do not lose, if you like, that advantage. And also it would not be fair if you don't, if you do not provide enough evidence or enough representations, no, on behalf of the children, because of course, I mean they're part of the application and they would be as affected as you in the event of refusal. Now, were there children involved, chances are also quite high kung may refusal that you will get a right of appeal, especially where there are children. So again, beware, no, because there's just a limited time to appeal, which is 14 days. So do not delay. So it's kind of a brief, if you like, synopsis of what would happen with that kind of scenario. But there are many scenarios that can be involved with their children. But I hope at least kung ganyan sitwasyon nyo, don't lose heart. No, truly seek advice. Is there a possibility actually of regularizing your stay? And I hope that that there is. And in most cases, kung ganyan sitwasyon, you have a good case.
Okay. Attorney, medyo mahaba-haba yung discussion. Talaga nga sabi mo nga talaga, maraming mga series of on this topic kasi very broad ho itong topic na to, overstaying, no? At nakakatuwa naman, bago tayo tumuloy lang, nire-recap ko lang na konti. Nakakatuwa naman dahil although on a visit visa si Maria many years ago, di ba? Nung when he visited, yung mom yata yun, di ba? Yung mom. And that was into, di ba? 3 years old yung kanyang anak na babae noon, no? Now 12 years old na sa situation na to, no? Pero pa pwede ba na? No, you can come over, visit your mom. Eventually, she fell in love, nabuntis, no? Out of wedlock. Pero by overstaying, may chance ba nga, no? Especially kung well entrenched na yung bata sa system, no? No? Anyway, we'll have a short break. Magba-break muna tayo mga kaibigan. Huwag ko kayo aalis, saglit po lamang. At pagbalik natin, tuloy natin discussion at kung may mga tanong kayo. No? At yung mga greetings niyo babasahin natin. Saglit po lamang.
Sa World Remit, naiintindihan namin ang iyong paglalakbay. Na minsan, kailangan lumayo upang makamit ang tagumpay. With ways to save more, when you send more, World Remit is here for you, so you can be there for them.
Mula noon hanggang ngayon, serbisyong mapagkakatiwalaan, serbisyong maaasahan pagdating sa inyong mga padalang balikbayan boxes. Dito ka na sa Forex Cargo. Sa presyong kayang-kaya ng bulsa, sigurado ka pa sa inyong padala. Forex Cargo. Dahil kailangan makarating. Call 0208-813-7064. O ano pang inaantay niyo mga kabayan? Tayo na sa Forex Cargo.
Okay, tuloy-tuloy tayo sa ating program, no? Attorney, tingnan ko lang kung successful tayo sa mga greetings today. Tingnan ko lang kung sino yung papa. Ayun, pumasok! Ito yung ito na yung una-una nating bumate, no? Siya yung nanalo ng, ng ating si Ma'am Cora Carsola. Congratulations, no? Si Ma'am Cora Carsola. Oo. Siya yung una-unang nag-message sa atin. Parang pagpasok pa lang yata ng first note ng ating program, andyan na kagad, no? Bumati naman talaga, no? So, Ma'am Cora Carsola, congratulations. Thank you very much. Merong mga messages na hindi ko na-pick up ng ating, ng ating system. Kaya pasensya na, no? Oo, anuhin ko lang. Ito, yung mga pagbati lang, binabasa ko lang, no? Oops, hindi pinasok, ah. Hindi nag-switch, ah.
Hindi ba?
All right. Nasa kabila. Dito pumasok sa kabila. Oh, okay. Ayan, good evening to all. Si Romel Balacanaw, no? Romel, mabuhay. May anak siyang napaka-talented kumakanta, attorney. So, ayan. Congratulations din sa kanya being a very lucky father for having a daughter, no? The very talented. Okay, and hello, happy Thursday si Tess Vergara. Tess Vergara, no? Ayan, Tess, mabuhay ka, no? Oo. Ayan, si Tess Vergara, no? Tapos actually, basahin ko rito, si Joffely Corazon, na-skip yung kanyang message, no? Sabi niya, happy Thursday uli sa inyo, Joffely Corazon. Salamat, attorney, sa inquiry ko kanina. Tungkol din sa mga requirements sa pag-apply ko sa ILR. Parang papasalamat sa iyo, attorney. Okay. Joffely Corazon, do you remember her? Joffely Corazon? Okay, ayan.
Very nice lady.
Okay.
So,
okay, si Edgar Duway, hindi lumabas sa ating picker, no, yung sabi niya gano'n, ano tawag dito? Happy Thursday, magandang gabi sa inyo lahat, Attorney LC and legendary Laragan. Okay, thank you, thank you. Okay, thank you. Lumabas na ba yung kay Tess Vergara, lumabas na, no? Tapos, ito si Emeline Rafael, ito, yung mga regulars na we love them so much, no? At talagang sinishare nila yung ating program. Good evening, Sonny and Attorney Lira. Happy Thursday again, you both and everyone. Ayun. Salamat. Pagkatapos niya, bumabati sa atin si Daisy Esguera. Ito, nag-beauty queen to, attorney. Beauty queen to. Daisy Esguera, no? I think they celebrated their recent parang wedding anniversary ng kanyang hubby. So, happy anniversary, no? Maski tapos na, no? Dahil pag sinabi happy anniversary, start pa lang yun, tuloy-tuloy yun, di ba? Until the next anniversary. Good evening, Kuya Sunny and Miss Lira Simon, CABATBAT yan, no? Lira Simon, yan. Ang Simon ba is the maiden surname ng mother mo, attorney, di ba? Maiden surname? Okay, ayan. CABATBAT is your family name, no? It's a father mo, no?
Yeah, so pero dito ang tawag nila pagka binabasa na they assume na middle name ko nga, no, na Simon as in with an E, no? Pero of course sa atin Simon, no? So they assume it's Lira Simon with an E.
Pero hindi ba lumabas ano yan sa may NI mo na yan ang middle name mo? Hindi naman.
Well, I mean, so dito hindi nila ginagamit yung apelyido ng nanay mo, no? So they have just a kind of a second name. So dahil nga Simon ang middle name, ang pangalan ng apelyido ng nanay ko, most of the time pagka nakikita nila, they assume na nakalimutan ko nga lang yung E, no? Na ang pangalan ko Lira Simon E tapos CABATBAT. So I have to keep telling them, no, you that's my middle name, the traditional way, no?
Ako naman, kaya ako naman nabanggit yan, attorney. Kasi when I arrived in the country at nag-fill up na ako nung NI application po, 'di ba? Parang ano, hindi ko alam, walang nag-advise sa akin. Nandito pala middle name ko Sunny. Akala ko middle name ko yung De Leon na apelyido ng nanay ko. Yung kamukha mo ng Simon, 'di ba? Akala ko yun ang middle name ko na sa atin, 'di ba? Apelyido ng nanay, middle name. Dito, middle name
Opo.
pala yun. So when I filled up my form, nilagay ko four names, Joseph
Mm.
Sunny. Middle name, De Leon. Then surname, Laragan. Pagdating ng mga papeles ko, Joseph Sani De Leon haba na pangalan ko. Siguro parang lumalabas. Tatlo pangalan ko, Joseph Sani, and then yung De Leon, middle name ko pa. Parang, it's parang second name. So, ayun, walang
Yeah.
nag-advise sa akin. Hindi ko alam kung bobo ko o hindi ko naintindihan. Yun ang pagkakamali. I have to correct that. I have to go back to the, ano ba yun, yung mga DWP na yan, yung mga Department of, di ba? Meron silang mga job centers, ayan yung kulay green, just to let them know,
Yeah.
drop na ho yung yung De Leon, yung Sunny, yun ang middle name ko. Magulo kaya 'di ba? May Spain magulo rin, no? Okay.
Yeah, ang
So, may
haba.
pagbati. Oo. Ito may bakit ito sino? Ayan, meron sa akin napunta yung yung ibon. Yung ibon ni ni Virginia Elona. Virginia, mabuhay ka, no? Nako, nakakatuwa naman si Virginia. Edgar Duway, tanong niya, kuha pa ba kami ng visa to go out of the UK to any EU country? Di pa yata.
So,
You check gov.uk/transition yata, Edgar. No? I don't know kung
yeah,
alam ni attorney yun.
yeah, pero EU, nakalimutan ko na si Edgar, ang he's British, si Edgar. Ata.
Well,
Oh,
I guess so.
indefinite.
British na siguro si Edgar. Oh,
Yeah.
British na yan. Sa tagal na rin siguro niya rito sa UK. Ay,
Yeah,
teka muna, nandiyan pa yung mukha ni
So,
Nandiyan pa yung
so the transition there, well, the Brexit has a lot of implications nga. Pero makikita nyo, best to check kung gusto niyo punta sa Germany o Italy, ganoon, but best to check. But you'll find nga that there should be a kind of reciprocal agreement, no? Kung bibisita ka nga lang, that you should not you're not required to apply for a visa nga. Pero kung of course kung pupunta ka doon to work, that's no longer a possibility. The Brexit na nga tayo. Same goes for the other way around. So kung may German nga, kung gusto pumasok nga dito in the past, it wouldn't have been a problem. But now it would be a problem because of course we're Brexit, which is sayang nga lang. Well, what can you do?
Nag-check na ako, attorney. Nag-check na ako. Going to Spain, no? Tsaka driving. A lot of things kasi. Mga bringing pets, mga ganyan, mga bagay-bagay na kailangan i-check nyo. Kasi nga, starting the 1st of January, we're officially out of the EU na. So, kailangan malaman mo, paano ba? Pag kailangan mo pa ng visa, so far, wala. Nakita ko, wala naman. Pwede ka ba mag-drive? Pagka hindi sa Europe, kailangan mo ng mga international driving license. Pagdating sa Europe, hindi. No? So, okay lang, Edgar. Take it from me, no? Kasi ako, chinek ko eh. Pwede. Wala kang problema. You can even drive in Europe, no? Oo. Pwede, attorney. Okay. Ito si Virginia Elona, bumati lang uli, no? Ito, sabi niya, ayan, good evening, Sunny and Attorney Lira. Nice watching from Sweden. Stay safe and God bless. Ayan, she's actually watching from Gothenburg, no? Yan,
Wow.
Gothenburg, yan. Gothenburg. Napunta ka na ba dyan sa Gothenburg, Sweden? Hindi ko pa napuntahan yan eh. I've only been to Stockholm, Sweden. Ayan. Sabi ni Lita Corpus,
Sweden,
attorney, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, no, so Sweden has an interesting way of dealing with COVID, no? So they're not as perhaps strict, no? But they seem to be doing quite well, nevertheless, no?
But
So yeah,
may
keep
nakausap
safe.
ako nurse, attorney. Hindi, pero may nakausap ako nurse, attorney. Parang nagkaroon din sila ng parang surge of cases. Yata. Oo, pero
Yeah.
di ba? Kasi di ba sila yung
Yeah.
parang walang lockdown ng araw, di ba? Ng mga nakaraang buwan.
Yeah.
At nakakainggit, no? Parang bang gusto mong, teka muna, doon na nga ako sa Sweden. Di ba? Pero mahal diyan, ha? I mean, when I vowed, attorney, na nung ako'y unang nag-travel sa Sweden, sabi ko, hindi ko na uulitin to. Although between the three countries na which comprises Scandinavia, there's Denmark and Norway, Actually, pinakamababa ang pera ng Sweden. So, meaning to say,
Yeah.
the most expensive would be Norway, and then followed by Denmark, and then, ano na. Pero just the same, mahal dyan. So, parang sabi ko, pag later on na lang siguro, pag tanda-tanda ako na, saka ako babalik sa Scandinavia, dahil ang mahal. Pagka mahal-mahal. So, ayan, oh. Mabuhay, ang tawag dito, si Virginia Ilona. May tanong dito,
Mm-mm.
attorney. Sabi ni
Ako.
Lita Corpus, hi, good evening po. May ask lang po, may chance po ba makuha ang anak ko, anak ko na over, hindi po kasi pumasok dito sa sa ating binabasa ko lang. Anak ko po ba na nakuha, ano ba yan? Hi, good evening po from the top. May ask lang po, may chance po ba na makuha ang anak ko na over 18 above kahit ang ina o ama UK citizen? Thanks po.
May
Hindi,
problema,
no? Mahirap, no?
magkakaproblema. Ayun na nga po eh. Dahil the relevant law would be, the adult dependent route, no? Problema nga doon, kung wala siyang sakit, no? For example, o kahit may sakit nga siya, if he can be treated in the Philippines, kung nasa Pinas nga siya, he won't get the adult dependent visa, no? So the best thing you can look at would be yung temporary. So, ibig sabihin, visito, o kaya kung gusto niya mag-aral dito, estudyante, kung qualifications niya are interesting for the UK. Then, of course, the skilled worker route that's coming into play on the 1st of December. So, those things pwede yung tignan. But as para bang dependent, so kung sitwasyon kukunin mo siya, dito na nga siya titira, indefinite nga, residente dito, that is going to be a near impossibility, unfortunately.
Okay. So, ayan, ayan. Okay. So, medyo mahirapan, attorney, no? In short, no? Talagang medyo
Opo.
mahirapan na.
Yeah.
Oh, hindi na,
Agree.
Pero yan,
Yeah.
posible yan nung araw sa, yung fully settlement, something. Kasi, but to live in another country, that would make things easier. Kaya lang, yun nga lang, doon ka natitira. Kasi marami ako nakilala, attorney, when I was a long time ago, na Spanish citizens, yung kanilang mga kapatid, ate nila, they were working at Middle East, dinala sa Spain, dumiretso muna rito yung mga ate niya, nagtrabaho rito, o nagstay dito, and then kinuha siya as EEA, siguro nag-tourist lang muna, pagkatapos na, claim na siguro, I don't know, EEA, family member, no?
Yeah, I mean, under the EU route, there's some, apart from, of course, yung mga, the immediate family, as a family dependent, there's also the extended family, no? But of course, Brexit na tayo, no? So, hindi na nga yung magagamit. Tsaka, mag-ingat din kayo, no? Kung pupunta nga siya dito, kung sabihin niyo, magsapalaran na nga lang, kukunin ko pa rin siya. Be careful, no? Because of course, kung may refusal siya, so nagpasok ko yung application, tapos sabi niyo, gusto ko dito siya titira na nga, permanente nga dito, tapos na-refuse. Next time, no? Kung gusto niyang pumasok nga dito, kahit bibisita, nga lang, it could be that you find he gets a refusal. Dahil hindi sila maniniwala na babalik siya. So, ingat kayo, no? Create a background.
Ingat. Ayan, okay. Alright. Okay, may bumabati sa atin. Nako, ito, mahal na mahal mo to. Mahal natin to. Ito si MM. Ayan. Oh. Hi, good evening po, sir and ma'am. Happy Thursday. Kumusta po? Ayan, si MM Giling. Ayan, para pag nakikita ko, giling-giling estatwa na alala ko eh. MM, mabuhay ha. Joke lang ha. Okay, sabi ni May Tigbaw, bumabati sa atin ito yung ating mga regulars, no? Sabi ni May Tigbaw, attorney, good evening, watching from Exeter, Devon. Ayun, uy. Mabuhay, ha?
Yeah.
Okay. Ano ba tong kay Virginia? May bumabati sa atin si Charlene Maharlika. Mabuhay, good evening sa lahat. Charlene, hindi pumasok yung sorry, no? Gusto ko sana i-post, kaya lang hindi pumasok eh. Happy Thursday. Tanong niya, Attorney Lira and Kuya Sonny, what is the difference? Ito si Virginia Smith, no? Happy Thursday, Attorney Lira and Kuya Sonny. What's the difference between biometric residence permit and biometric residence card? Thank you po. Ayan.
Yeah.
May difference ba yan? Dalawa na yan?
Well, not entirely. So usually the biometric residence permit, yung nakatatak dun sa sa passport mismo, yung sticker, no? And then the biometric residence card is card nga mismo. Ang itsura para bang yung lisensya, the driver's license. So
Mhm.
yeah, so generally your permit means yung sticker, no? And the biometric residence card is yung card. They have the same, if you like use, sasabihin nga doon when it was granted, at kailan matatapos, and the basis of stay. Yun.
Parang sticker, parang yung visa nung araw. Pag kanyari, visa ka or anything, no? Yun ang nakastick doon sa passport mo. Yun, parang ganun. Yun ang
Yeah. So,
biometric residence permit. But the card is the parang license o parang credit card or anything na ganun,
yeah,
size, no? Parang ganun. Oh,
yeah,
parang ginagamit ng mga taga Europe, no? Meron silang, rather than bringing their passports, meron silang dalang card eh. Identity
yeah.
cards. Di
Yung
ba?
identity card nila.
Yung ano na, passport na yun. Yung identity
Yeah,
card, di
yeah.
ba?
So
So parang ganun yun, parang
German,
ganyan, no?
yeah, tama,
Kaya,
yeah.
kaya lang
So
yung biometric card ba, attorney, ino-honor ba sa ibang bansa? I mean, if I went to Spain and I had that biometric halimbawa, ano ba yan? Is it a
yeah.
permanent residency? Permanent residency yan, hindi naman citizenship yan, di ba?
No, the card can say, no, the card would say also kung indefinite ka, no? So it would be usually the card would say if kung spouse visa ka, yung that it's a spouse visa na kailan nagumpisa and also kailan matatapos, and at the back if you turn it over they would say if there's any recourse to public funds, for example, no? Pero kung indefinite ka na, yun pa rin makukuha mo, no? So you have the residence card. Yung residence card, sabi nga lang doon, settlement, no? And again, it would stay there when that was granted. And so so it definitely it applies for both. Kung limited leave ka o kaya settlement status ka, yung card doon nakatatak.
Okay, all right. Okay, so sige, tuloy lang tayo sa ating ano. But short break. Mag-break lang ho muna kami ni attorney. At siya nga pala, nais ko i-anunsyo ho sa inyo, no? Ito hong ano, yung World Remit ho, meron ho kayong mga pangkabuhayan na ano, attorney, no? May pangkabuhayan silang pwedeng ano, worth 200,000. Ito yung parang grains business at saka bills payment, no? So bibigyan kayo ng mga sako-sako ng bigas sa bahay ninyo, gagawin tinda, parang ano, tinda, tawag dito. May tindahan ka na, parang ano ka na, kagad. No? Ito ho yan. So, gusto ko lang i-anunsyo sa kanila na ito, mamimigay ang World Remit na 10 pangkabuhayan packages worth 200,000 pesos each. So that means a total of 2 million ang mga ipamimigay nila, no? So first draw will be, I think, on the 1st of December. At ayan ho, yung unang 5 pangkabuhayan. So 200,000 pounds yan. Pounds tuloy. Pesos yan worth, no? Sa World Remit. Padala lang kayo. And then you get sama na ho kayo sa kanilang electronic raffle, no? So, 10 pangkabuhayan, 200,000 pounds each. 200 pesos, 1,000 pesos each, sorry. Baka mamaya, mapagkamalan, ako pa mag-aabono niyan, attorney. Wala tayong pambayad yan. Also, namimigay ho ako 3,000 pesos sa inyong mga loved ones. I can give 2 or 3 prizes, no? Kayo ang sasali, manood lang kayo ng Sabado Panalo. At pag nanood ho kayo, na-draw kayo, we also use an electronic picker. At pag na-draw ho kayo, next time, pag nag-show tayo next week, mag-electronic picker doon sa mga nagtatanong or messages or bumate, yun ang gagawin natin para cute panoorin natin dito sa ating show. Makikita natin habang dinodraw natin, no? Yun din lang ginagamit namin sa Sabado Panalo, but we cannot show you straight away because we have to check kung nag-like doon sa Sonny Laragan official page. We have to check kung nag-share. We have to check kung ganun, nag-comment na ano. So, ganun. Marami yung checks na ginagawa. Okay, we're gonna have a short break. Balik ko kami ni attorney. May isa pang tanong dito, attorney. Follow-up question, no, sa mga EU citizens yata tungkol doon, no? Okay, we're gonna have a short break. Huwag ko kayo alis. Saglit po lamang. Kami po yung magbabalik.
During these trying times, we salute the frontliners who are tirelessly caring for all of us against the COVID-19. To all the courageous nurses, doctors, carers, and paramedics at the NHS, words are not enough to thank you. We at Highlight Express International are here to support you back with a full semester 10% discount when you send your balikbayan boxes to your family in the Philippines. Dahil ang Highlight Express International ay para sa pamilya.
Sa World Remit, naiintindihan namin ang iyong paglalakbay. Na minsan, kailangan lumayo upang makamit ang tagumpay. With ways to save more, when you send more, World Remit is here for you, so you can be there for them.
Okay, tuloy-tuloy ho kami ni Attorney, no? Dito sa ating programa. Ayan, no? Balik tayo ulit, Attorney. Okay, may follow-up question dito, pero may pumati din nating basahin. Ayan, may follow-up question. Follow-up question.
Okay.
If they are EU citizens holding resident permit or pre-settlement, is it siguro, it is necessary, or hindi ko alam kung question, is it necessary that they need to apply their residence card before December 2020? I heard in news after June 2021, if they don't have a residence card, they are not allowed to work and come here in the UK. Attorney, ano nga? May idea ka dyan? Sinasabi niya?
Yeah. So
The Burgi sa EU, oh yes.
Yeah, so ito. There are a number of points made here. So if they're EU citizens, sabi nga, meron na silang resident permit or pre-settlement, no? So so they have pre-settlement status at the moment rather than settlement. Is it necessary that they need to apply for residence card before December 2020? Well, you already have
21,
you already-
Attorney. Sorry, December 2020. Oh, sorry, tama ka.
So,
Pero meron isa pa, no? Yung June 2021. Okay, go ahead, please.
Okay. So the pre-settlement. So there are two. The settlement scheme at the moment is divided into two. No. So it's pre-settlement, and then there's the settlement. Okay. So if you pre-settlement, ibig sabihin you have not been in the United Kingdom for 5 years, and therefore hindi ka pa permanent resident in the UK. No. Once you've hit 5 years, even though we've Brexited by then, pwede ka magpa-pass ng application for settlement. So if you already have a pre-settlement or settlement, you don't need another, a residence card because. But if you have, sabihin natin, if you have a resident card, like old style nga, you are required, no, because we're Brexited, to apply under the settlement scheme, either for pre-settlement or indeed settlement. So effectively, you're swapping it over to get a status under the settlement scheme. Now, you have until the second point. I heard in news after June 2021, you don't have residence card. No, it's not residence card. They're not allowed to work and come into the UK. Now you have until June 2021 to make an application under the settlement scheme. No? So kung anumang status mo, if you're resident nga o hindi pa, you need to swap it, if you like, under the settlement scheme to get either pre-settlement status or settlement status. That's what the deadline is, until June 2021. So you have another 6 months, 7 months, no, to do it. So you should. If you don't, after that time, yeah, definitely may problema. Because it could be that you leave the UK, wala kang settlement, you may not be able to come back in, no? So, kailangan yung asikasuhin. Do not forget. And it's not that long from now, no? And it's not actually that, they don't require too many documents, especially kung settled ka na. So, do it. Don't forget.
Attorney, di ko niya, parang nalilito ako. Teka muna. Pre-settlement is somebody who has come in pero hindi pa qualified
Hindi
sa
pa-
settlement because it's 5 years. Ganun ba? Ang pre-settlement.
Ah.
Ang settlement, na mag-apply ka na, pwede ka na mag-apply. So do it before, kung settlement, naka 5 years ka na, do it before June 2021 yata, di ba? Yun ba yun? Ano ba itong 2020? You need to apply for, before June.
Yeah.
So teka muna.
The-
Pagka okay ka na sa pre-settlement, nakahabol ka na sa December 2020, yun ba yung sinasabi mo, June 2021 pwede ka nang tawag dito, teka muna, kung kulang ka pa, di ba, let's say, nandito ka na, nakapasok ka na ng mga so pre-settlement, yung status mo, ibig sabihin, even dumating na June 2021, you just let them know, kunyari, nakakatas ka pa lang. Wala ka pa doon sa mga gagawin. You tell them na, hey, I was able to put my foot in before this Brexit thing. So I want to be here. I love it here. I have. Yun ba ang sinasabi natin, attorney, kunyari?
So,
Pwede ba humabol yung mga, kunyari, may sa Spain, halimbawa, o nasa Italy, na mga citizens na Pinoy. Let's say, December 2020, pwede pa sila tumalon papunta pa na UK? Para ganito?
Yeah. 31st
Technically, pwede ba?
Yeah. So,
Gano'n. Pwede pa.
Yeah. So 31st of December is the deadline essentially. Okay. So it can be a bit confusing. At the moment, mga EU nationals, they either have they either have leave to remain as an EU national, pero hindi pa sila permanente. So if they have now been able to show that they've been in the United Kingdom exercising their treaty rights for over 5 years. So ibig sabihin hindi pa sila residente. They have limited leave. They do not have settled status muna. So they could be, for
So
example,
pre-settlement you classify as pre-settled people.
No. No, you have to distinguish nga between the two. So under the old law, kung bibigay sa iyo, for example, kung if you are the spouse, of an EU so you EU family member, no? So ang visa mo,
Okay.
yung EU
Okay.
family member, ka residente.
Yes.
Now, kung hindi ka pa residente, you need to swap that visa that you have, no? To this pre-settlement, under the settlement scheme, to a pre-settlement visa.
So there's a visa called pre-settlement visa.
Yeah. So pre-settlement visa mismo.
Okay.
So, kung hindi ka pa settled, then it's pre-settlement ang kailangan mo. If you have settlement status, no, dahil matagal ka na nga dito, you're over 5 years na nga.
Naka 5 years ka na. Yeah.
Make an application under the settlement scheme, yun ang pangalan nga. But you then in fact swap your resident to that under the settlement scheme. Okay, so and it's it doesn't actually change you really. It doesn't change nga yung status mo, but you're then granted, if you like, your resident status under the pre-settlement scheme. Lahat yon, both pre-settlement and settlement scheme. Okay, you must make those applications before June 2021, because that is the end of the line. Kung hindi ka pa nagpasok within by that time, then tapos na yung scheme, no? And then you will have a problem. You effectively, kung hindi mo pa pinapalitan, they would consider you an overstayer.
So what is this end of the year 2020 December thing? Wala yan. Parang talaga effective talaga. The real deadline is actually in June.
No.
Tama ba?
Kung wala ito, so nasa Spain ka, no? O may pamilya ka doon, because they want to UK, you must do that before the 31st of December, no? This is the
Yun.
transitional.
Oh, okay.
So pero kung nandito ka na before the 31st of December and either you have nga, I know, leave to remain as an EU dependent spouse, for example, then you swap that, no? You need to swap that before June 2021 under the
Ayun.
settlement scheme for settlement status.
So yung mga ibang mga visa, for example, yung EEA dependent, okay? Wala pa silang 5 years, sa pre-settlement lang. They have
Tama.
their deadline actually not on the 30 on the end of the year, but until the June to swap it, di ba? Into a pre-settlement visa. Ayun, pre-settlement visa. Okay. Oh.
Yeah.
So lahat 'yan,
Yeah.
spouse, um, uh,
Lahat. Yeah, lahat.
pero ang work permit, this is from EU nga pala, EU to, no? Kasi EU, they can just come in anytime, eh. Walang problema, di ba?
So,
Merong free movement,
yeah,
eh. Di ba? Free movement, walang borderless. So, pero yung mga work permit, wala yan, hindi kaso yan.
yeah.
It's more of the EU,
So,
itong concern natin.
EU.
Okay,
No,
at least nalilinawan ako, malinaw.
Yeah, it's that. So I suppose one way of looking at it, for our EU viewers nga, is this: kung wala pa kayong settlement, no? If you have limited leave, if you like, as an EU dependent, family member, ano man, then you make an application under the pre-settlement scheme. Okay, if you have not yet completed the 5 years. Yeah. Now, if you have completed the 5 years or meron na kayong resident permit in the UK, then you make an application still under this settlement scheme, but for settlement. Yun.
Ayun, okay. Sige, malinaw, ha? Okay. Teka muna. Okay, so yan, thank you very much. This is a question, no? Ito, may question si Lorraine, no? Ipa-flash ko, buti naman, maswerte naman at nakapasok doon sa ating speaker, no? Meron kasi iba hindi pumapasok. Hi, Attorney Lira. What if both parents, ano yan, for staying here and they have a child, is it automatic to have a visa here?
Oh, okay. So Lorraine, there's no such thing as automatic visa. But the good news is, kahit nga pareho yung magulang, wala silang visa nga dito, the same rules effectively will apply, no? So kailangan pa rin tingnan ng Home Office kung may bata nga, kung bata ay matagal na dito, by that they mean 7 years plus, are there human rights arguments even if the child is not yet here for more than 7 years. Kung in any event, Section 55 yung pinag-uusapan nga natin, is it in the best interest of the child to leave the United Kingdom, and that applies kung nanay, tatay o pareho, no? So it doesn't make the same arguments nga will be put forward kahit nga parehong magulang ay nandito. But there's unfortunately, no such thing as an automatic visa here. Yung nga lang, titingnan ng Home Office, okay, kung nandito din magulang, can there, is it then, yung sinabi ko nga, yung Section 117B of the Nationality Immigration Asylum Act, titingnan nila, is there genuine and subsisting parental relationship with a qualifying child, yung bata, and would it not be reasonable to expect the child to leave the United Kingdom? So the same questions are asked. It's a good question.
Okay, ayan, no? Oh, yeah. Hindi, kasi nga, at least, hindi nalilinawan ng tao. So maganda to, at least na-explain natin. There's no such thing as an automatic, di ba? Tama yan. Yan. Okay. All right. Ito si Edgardo Kahagahas dyan. May question sa atin, attorney. Ang sabi niya, yan. Good evening, PM Sonny and Kuya Sonny and Attorney Lira. Happy Thursday to everyone. What will happen to Maria's children? Pero sabi mo kasi, di ba, ano tayo dito, ang question is, should they apply to regularize? Sabi mo, yes. Okay. Tuloy ko lang, no? What will happen to Maria's children if they become adults? Do they need to apply for anything? For example, visa, etc., etc., etc. Yeah, attorney.
Actually, now this is a very good question. So thanks for asking this. No, he always comes up with quite
maganda yung ulo niya. Tingnan mo yung ulo niya, oh. Maganda yung suot niya, oh, di ba? Parang parang Daniel Boone.
Yan, no? Yeah.
So maganda yan. Okay.
So sabihin natin, okay, let's Maria's children at the moment are quite young. Pero let's make them older, no? So sabihin natin nakakuha nga sila ng visa on the basis of the under 18 pa nga. So let's pretend nga that the children are, say, I know, 16, for example. Nakakuha nga sila ng visa, especially yung panganay nga. Nakakuha siyang visa. And then the next time magpasok silang application, overage na siya. Ano mangyayari? And I think that this is actually an issue that a lot of people face, you know. So she can still make an application, you know, for extension nga of the visa. Now, ang gusto niyong pakita nga is that it's still a family unit, no? Na magkakasama pa nga rin sila. That so there it becomes stronger, this issue of Article 8, you know, private life, family life. Also, there's a separate provision nga for those children who are in the UK, who've been in the UK a long time, between the ages of 18 and I think it's 25, who have spent more than half their life in the United Kingdom. So, pwede nilang asahan yon, or yung panganay especially. So, even though they've just turned 18, kung nakakuha nga sila ng visa before, on the basis of family life, don't just give up on it, no? Because there's every possibility na makakakuha pati sila ng visa extension of leave to remain, especially kung matagal na sila dito. It could even be that they have a stronger case actually than Maria. But thank you for that question, because it's actually an issue that comes up often and it confuses people.
Pero sinabi mo kanina, attorney, no, they have to really prepare, no, di ba? Sabi mo, wag masyadong emotional lang ang statements. Okay, bakit? It will work against their favor? Is that what usually happens? Ano, what do you say emotional? Yung bang madrama na, if they are taken out here, you know, brought to the Philippines, they will be insulted. Pero, di ba, sabi mo yung psychiatric report yun, and that's the reason why you spend too much at mahal yun, dahil somehow it beefs up your case coming from a professional standpoint of viewpoint.
I mean, yeah, it's
Diba?
not for every case.
Sabi mo mahal eh, di ba? Sabi mo pagka nag-psychia, mahal, di ba?
Yeah. So put it this way, it's not for every case, and sometimes nga it's not worth the cost, especially if you have a fairly strong case, no? So it's not it's really a question nga of it's yung nga tama, it's preparation, no? Importante you look at the case, and when I say don't be too emotional, I mean, I suppose I've read statements that says and I you know, says 10 times nga na we plead with you, no, to give us a visa dahil nga ganito. So that doesn't really add anything to the application, no. So rather than saying we plead with you this, that, or the other, be factual, no. I'm not saying completely devoid of any kind of emotion, because you can't help that, because it is an emotional case. So, for example, sa mga bata, kung if you're preparing a statement nga to show nga na it's important that they stay in the UK. So, let's take, for example, Maria's daughter. No, she's here now, 12. So, rather than saying I plead with you nga na you allow my daughter to stay in the UK because she's 12 now. You know, she's a young lady. You know, rather than putting it that way, ang suggestion ko, you say. Yeah, my daughter arrived in the United Kingdom when she was only 3. No, she does not recall anything substantive about the Philippines. No, she has limited contact with any relatives we may have there. She when she does have contact with them, it's merely really to say hello. No, maybe via video nga or by phone. You know, she's doing very well at school. Please find and close her school report. You know, she's particularly gifted in English or in math. So it's really be factual. As I say, it doesn't have to be, you know, completely devoid of any kind of emotion. Yeah, but be factual and be able to try and back it up also with evidence. Is saying you're pleading with them, you want this, that, or the other without any evidence is not likely to really make them look at your application kinder, no? So perhaps ibig sabihin ni saying, no, trying to get to become your statement, if it becomes too emotional, can be off-putting for the home office. Ang gusto na makita, kailangan pakita sa kanila ebidensya, no, that it satisfies the law, and if they refuse it, that you are likely to win your appeal. Yung kailangan pakita.
Okay. Ayan. Okay. So, ayan. Okay. Ayan. May question pa tayo rito, no? May isa pa, no? Sabi ni ito si Oya, I have difficulty reading her name, pero Ohayam here. Oyam he. Marinel. What is the best to do for the overstayer? Will they better apply for regularization? Is there, medyo putin, wala, putol yung kanyang message eh. Is there, ganyan, medyo siguro parang,
yeah, I can probably get the gist of it. So, sometimes nga din, I get, well, actually, I do get this question all the time. Now, overstayer na siya, is it best to make an application or indeed not? What can you do, no, if you're an overstayer? So the main feeling ng mga tao is kung overstayer na, they want to fix their status, no, which is understandable. They want to fix their status because ayaw na nilang matakot nga dito, gusto nilang gumandang buhay, gusto nilang magandang trabaho, and of course gusto nila din makauwi sa atin, makita pamilya doon, and be able to come back into the UK. Pero yung problema nga, overstayer na sila. So I often get asked the question, well, what can I do? No? And sometimes, in Maria's case nga, there are things certainly that you should do. And in her case, kung ganun sitwasyon, I would certainly say, and similar cases nga that I have, I've said, yeah, absolutely, no? It is a risk that is definitely worth taking. Magpasok yung application. Now, I also say to people when I see them nga, look, sometimes it's best not to do something. No? So, kung wala kayong pag-asa, kadadating yung pangalan, sabihin natin, say you've been in the UK 2, 3, 4 years, no? Wala kayong pamilya nga dito, no? You're desperate, however, to regularize your stay. I would still say to you, kung hindi pa kayo natagalan nga dito, wala kayong mga family members in the UK, and so you don't have a strong Article 8, private life nga, sometimes it's better not to do so. No? Dahil mangyayari nga lang, kung pasok yung application, and that application is refused, hindi naman na wala silang gagawin. They won't just say no, tapos wala na silang gagawin. They will say no, and they will come looking. No? So ayaw yung mangyari, na may problema na nga, lalong lalala pa, no? Mapapahamak pa nga. So be careful, essentially. If you're making an application, make sure nga that you look at all possibilities, no? Is this actually, may pag-asa ba, no? And yung representative nyo, yung lawyer nyo, they should say to you, frankly, may pag-asa ba? And it does frustrate me sometimes, mga tao na they've been advised to make an application when it's clear, walang pag-asa. So mangyayari nga lang, mapapahamak nga yung tao. On top of that, you created again a background. So be careful and think about, is it worth making that application? Because sometimes some facts then it's not worth making the application. And maybe better na hintayin nyo until such time as it's better, the circumstances.
So abang lang muna. Wag ko kaagad na dahil siyempre parang hirap ka na sa life mo na parang hindi ganun ka maayos yung galaw mo, di ba? Hindi ka makagalaw, hindi ka makapagtrabaho na maayos. So thinking na by making this an application, baka it will solve it all. Pero kung hindi pa time at hindi pa hinog, wag muna. So give it enough time. Baka mag-change yung circumstance mo. O makapangasawa ka or, may in love ka. I don't know. No? Siguro, ganun siguro, attorney, no? Para akong solicitor. Yeah. Para kasi Sonny LARAGAN, solicitor tuloy nito. Okay, attorney, as you were saying.
I actually, I see this, I have these questions quite regularly actually, and often as sinasabi ko sa kanya, look,
Siyempre.
no, kung meron kang gagawa, sasabihin ko, no? And then papayuhan ko yung gawin nga natin. Kung wala tayong magagawa dahil wala namang mangyayari, then I will also
Oo,
say,
sayang lang.
yun
Oo,
nga,
sayang lang
sayang
eh. Kung
kailan
mahina
mo,
yung kaso natin o yung ano natin, di ba? Yung mga
yeah,
ebidensya natin, proof natin, di ba? Oo, to
yeah.
back it up. Oh, okay, okay. Ito naman, may nagtatanong si Lorraine Cantos. Sabi niya, one more po please, attorney. Siyempre, okay lang yan, one more. Love na love tayong lahat ni attorney. Sabi niya, if baklas ang entry dito and staying like 15 years here, pwede po bang mag-apply? O yan, overstaying yan, attorney. Baklas ang ano. Pero paano yun? Iba
Baklas,
identity.
yeah, so kung baklas ang pagpasok, they're actually illegal entrant, no? So that's different from overstayers. Overstayers nga, may visa sila, paso na nga lang yung visa, no? Baklas, ibig sabihin pumasok sila dito, ibang pangalan o kaya ibang date of birth. So ibig sabihin they came in illegally, effectively. The reality is, kung 15 years na nga yung tao dito, um, the advice would be very similar, well, same really, if kung kahit nga overstayer siya. So, kung 15 years na nga siya dito, it still falls 5 years short of the 20-year route, no? So under the 20-year route, kailangan mo pakita na definitely 20 years ka, hindi ka lumabas nga in the last 20 years, and that there are effectively, exceptional circumstances to grant you leave to remain in the UK, no? Yung nga lang, kailangan pakita, dire-diretso ka nga 20 years. So, siya, kulang pa siya ng 5 years. Now, having said that, kung meron pa siyang ibang pampapakita, so ibig sabihin pamilya nga o something like that, then even though 15 years nga lang pa siya dito, then she may be able to make use of Article 8, hindi nga lang private life for the 15 years, but also family life. Pero
Human
kung
rights.
15 years nga lang siya, so, kung 15 years nga lang siya, wala siyang pamilya dito, careful, no? It could be na kahit 15 years na nga siya dito, she may still face refusal.
Ayun. Article 8, yung human rights pa rin ba? Yung lagi nating, yung paborito mo.
Opo. Yeah.
Pwedeng gamitin. Oo.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Ato, meron tayong bumabati sa atin na mula sa tawag dito, sa France. May parang nangapit bahay.
Yeah.
Mabuhay ka, mabuhay. Tayo, welcome mo kayong lahat,
Oh.
no? Welcome mo kabayan, no? Watching from France. Stay safe po, no? Ayan, sabi niya. Kathleen Pehu. Ayan, thank you very much, no? Kathleen, no? Oo. Ayan. Tapos si Virgin nakakatuwa naman, sabi niya. Sorry, Sunny, Kuya Sunny, kung nalito ka. But I think we need to inform our kababayans to be aware to swap or apply the BRC, siguro to apply for the BRC biometric resident card before too late. Keep safe, everyone.
Tama.
Yeah. Oo.
Tama.
Okay naman yata. Sa ba ako nalito? Hindi, nalito yata. Hindi ako rito nalito. Nalito ako doon sa yung difference, yun nga, yung sa pre-settlement tsaka settlement, na yun nga pala, yung may EU, let's say, one example na binigay ni attorney, EEA family member, dependent, na kailangan i-swap mo na yon, di ba? Dahil kapag, if you decide to stay here, okay, andito kayo siguro ng mismong principal mo, and you decided to stay, your deadline is until June to swap it now into the, ano pangalan yan? Pre-settlement. Pre-settlement, kung hindi ka pa abot ng kung hindi ka pa umabot ng 5 years, no? Or hindi ka pa So, ayan. Yun, at least, doon ako nalito, sabi ko, so, everything will be called pre-settlement, visa pala. Yung mga bagay na, yung mga bagay-bagay na kamukha nun, yung EEA dependent settlement, EEA dependent, no? Yun, mga ganon, magsaswap pala ang visa, yun. Uy, nawala ka, attorney. Nawala ka na. Nawala ka. Teka na, lilipat muna ako sa akin. Dali. Oo, hindi, para tayong yung parang, ba't ba napunta doon? Ito gusto kong ilabas. Ayan, okay. So, ayan. Yes, Virginia, thank you very much. Naku, much appreciated yung iyong Then nangyayari sa atin yan, pati yung sa aking headset pagka nagsishow ako sa parang sa Cinderella, pag a certain time, biglang nawawala na. But anyway, last question na naman yun. So, at least yun, no? Marami tayong
to Virginia, Yeah, in that, kailangan nating, our kababayans nga, no, must beware of the very short space of time nga available, no? Kung nandito na kayo, okay, you have until June. Pero kung wala pa nga kayo dito, kung may mga pamilya kayo, then they need to come in now, like before the 31st of December. So there is quite a tight deadline. You're only looking at a few weeks, no? But yeah, huwag niyong kalimutan. So mga kababayan, truly, kung iyo kayo o iyo dependent nga, be careful. Either the deadlines are either 31st of December or June next year.
Attorney, may tanong ako doon sa anak ng kaibigan ko pala. May girlfriend na puti. Okay? Away sila ng away. So, permanent resident, kinakuha niya yung kanyang anak. So, as dependent, so naging pumasok as permanent resident, ILR, no? May girlfriend. Away na away. So, laging pinupunta sa pulis, laging ganon. Hindi naman nakakasuhan, no? Pero, yan ba yung makaka-apekto sa kanya? Parang sa anak niya na mag-apply ng British citizenship? Laging nahuli. Pag nag-aaway sila mag-girlfriend, pag masarap ang relationship na, okay. Kasi they stay together daw, no? And then, pagka nag-away, patawag ng pulis lagi. So, laging inuhuli sa, dinadala sa presinto yung anak niya, yung lalaki. Makaka-apply pa ba ng citizenship pa ba yan?
Yeah, kung hindi pa siya
Maapektuhan ba?
nakakasuhan. Yeah, so kung walang kaso, no conviction, criminality in that way nga, he should nga still be fine. Pero kailangan niya mag-ingat, no? Because the issue of character nga suitability is at the moment talagang dun sila gigil na gigil, no? The Home Office, they do consider that quite important. So sabihin natin, let's just say, okay, hindi pa nga siya nakasuhan. Pero nag-away ulit sila, nagpasok siya ng application, sabihin natin for naturalization, okay? Or even without that. Tapos yung the girlfriend is annoyed, no? So it could be, sumulat siya sa Home Office, sabi niya, okay, sinasaktan niya ako, or I've made an application for injunctive relief, no? It's a civil case rather than criminal. She does not think that he's someone who should be able to remain in the UK because of his character. That will cause him a problem. No?
What do you mean? Pwede pang matanggal yung kanyang permanent residency?
Well,
hindi naman.
Criminality. Yeah, with criminality, I mean, so conviction, no, can certainly lead to rescission nga of the indefinite. So, but okay, there you need actually criminality. So, sabihin natin, nagsumbong nga lang yung babae, and they had another fight, then it's highly unlikely that the Home Office will take action. But kung yung
criminality kung nakukulong sa mga robbery o bigger pero kung lagi lang sila nag-aaway, tatampuhan pa nag-away, ganun, tatawag lang ng pulis, parang siyempre. Yun medyo hindi pa siguro, no?
Yeah, pero ingat pa rin siya, no? Because one of these days,
ingat pa rin.
will
Okay.
be, yeah. So, ingat.
Okay. Okay. Ito may isang last question na to bago tayo bago mawala ang video niya at mawala rin yung aking audio. Sabi ni si Oya Himle, let's say you come from other country with your employer and you run away and apply for an asylum. May pag-asa ba silang mabigyan ng free to stay here in the UK?
Yeah, well,
Pero alam mo, kung tumakbo rin lang naman, bakit asylum? Di ba mahirap ang asylum?
Yeah, no, asylum, especially kung galing ka sa Pinas, I cannot see na you would succeed on an asylum.
Hindi Pinas na galing, attorney. May mga ganyan, usong-uso yan dito sa UK. Di ba? Usong-uso sa UK, yung tumatakbo, lumata ka sa employer. Nga, galing sa Middle East, dinala rito. Mamaya-maya, may namit sa park na Pilipina, uy, tumakas ka. Tatakas ka yun. Maraming mga successful na cases na ganyan, di ba? Yung mga tumatakas sa kanilang mga amo. Na bilalabas, hindi sila bayad na maayos, hindi pinapakain na maayos, ganun ang mga kiniklaim. Hindi yung mga ganun ba? Hindi kaya ganun do, attorney?
So,
itong case na yan.
Sometimes that is the case. So yung background nga, so kahit saan ka galing, no? So sabihin natin sa Middle East nga, dumating ka dito kasama ng employer mo, for whatever reason, umalis ka na nga, no? Tapos and then strangely, you then apply for asylum. The asylum will likely be refused, especially kung galing ka nga sa Pinas, no? Now, as regards, no, pwede pa bang, may pag-asa pa bang mabigyan ng status nga dito? It depends really kung ano sitwasyon nila, no? So kung sabihin natin, dumating ka dito, no, 10 years ago, in Maria's case, no, dumating siya dito 10 years ago. Hello, Sonny, nawala uli. So,
Nawawala. Ano na yan, para kasi si Cinderella. Oo.
Hello?
Para si Cinderella. Nawawala na yung signal mo. Oo. Ayan, okay. Ayan, ito na.
Yeah. So anyway,
Oo.
so
Ayan.
itatampo na yung video sa akin. So,
Oo. Sige.
it depends really kung ang sitwasyon nila, no? So, it could be na meron pa rin pag-asa. So, just the fact that na galing nga sila sabihin natin, sa Middle East, dumating sila dito, nag-asylum claim, tapos na-refuse nga. That kahit ganun ang background nga, hindi ibig sabihin na walang-wala na silang pag-asa forever, no? So, it depends really kung ilang taon na nga sila dito, may pamilya ba, so anything else like that. So, I wouldn't say na wala silang pag-asa. Yung nga lang, kailangan nga nilang mag-ingat dahil meron na nga silang background because not only did they run away, natapos paso na nga yung visa, nag-asylum pa nga sila. So there, bago sila magpasok ng anumang application, seek good legal advice. No? Otherwise, ayaw mong dagdagan nga ang problema.
Ayan. May si Virgie, sabi niya parang may comment siya rito. Filipinos daw from ayaw pumasok. Bakit? Teka muna. Nahawa mo, attorney, yung nangyari. Yan, okay. Filipino from Cotabato can grant tonnage asylum visa. Siguro kapag pwede i-prove, pwede siguro i-prove kung merong parts magulo sa may Kaya lang sabi mo, Pilipinas generally is not a country na medyo war-torn, may strife o ganyan-ganyan, no? So, ayan. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, attorney, baka may quick comment ka lang.
It's Philippines has it's never really been. I mean, maybe a long time ago, but generally, it's not one of those countries na they would say is an asylum type country, no, where you would have a successful claim. Anyway, in any event, most countries also, unless really it's war torn, no, asylum is a very difficult claim to succeed with, no. So be careful. Hindi nga lang basta-basta sometimes people think mag-asylum na lang tayo, that it's a kind of a magic bullet, no? Hindi po. So ingat kayo.
Thank you rin, Virgie, for sharing that. No, we welcome everybody's no. Nakakatuwa naman dito. It's maganda yan kasi the intention is to help, di ba? Baka may ganung nangyari, pwede, no? Depende sa situation. So thank you very much, Virgie. That's much appreciated, no? Anybody who shares pandagdag kaalaman is yun ang sinasabi lagi ng winner natin, si Cora Carsola, Ma'am Cora Carsola. Natututo daw siya. Okay, meron dito si pagbati lang, si Yan Galicia Paner. Humabo lang naman. Hello po, good evening po, Kuya Sunny and Attorney Lira. At sa lahat, I'm watching from Cheltenham. Ayun, all right.
Happy
Siguro baka
Thursday
medyo
po.
nagluto to, nagplancha pat lahat siguro. Kaya bago to, ngayon lang siya napa-message, no? Normally, maaga-aga nagme-message yan eh. So, okay. Well, napakaganda ng gabi natin. We have so many questions tonight and that's nice of us. No? We appreciate that. Para sa inyo to, no? I'm sure si Attorney, we really appreciate this questions coming from you guys because we know that you are engaged, no? And you may have some concerns for your friends or loved ones, no? Who might have those situations or those yung mga situations na pinag-uusapan natin, no? Or immigration situations. So thank you very much. Attorney, baka may nais kang banggitin ba? Baka may nakalimutan ka o biglang nag-cross ang mind mo na, I should have said that point. Or baka may gusto kang batiin or, sa ating pagpaalam, mga messages pa. Final words natin sa ating Happy Thursday night.
Yeah, yun na nga. Happy Thursday po sa inyo lahat. So, I suppose, dahil pinag-uusapan nga natin overstayers, no? The thing to be careful about, yung nga, ingat nga kayo, no? Kaya nga may problema, sometimes it's better not to do something, no? So just be careful kung sino mang kausap nyo na when you're making an application na tama nga yun for your situation, no? So don't be panicked into making an application nga. No? Now, kung meron kayong questions, that hindi nga namin na pag-usapan nga ngayon, then feel free to email me. No? And nandiyan email ko, yung kabatbat@douglas-simon.com. So email me kung ayaw bigyan pangalan nyo, hindi problema. Or if you want to give your name, hindi problema. If you want me to call you, you have to give your number, okay? And I'm more than happy, certainly, to call you. So email me your details. Whatever you say to me nga, confidential naman. Yung nga sabi ni Sonny, we're here to help. No? And we're happy. Kung wala nga akong magagawa, if at least I can point you in the right direction, hopefully that also helps a bit. But so I mean, for next week, ang daming mga question. I mean, truly, overstayer is a huge topic. So we can pick this up again for next week, but maybe in relation to say overstayers and appeals, no? Because that also is a big thing. Marami kong mga kliyente, they reach the end of the line, in that now it's an appeal. So happy to deal with overstayers again, but maybe in relation to appeals nga.
Excited
So,
kami,
if you
attorney, next week. Si Maria this week, baka sino kaya next week? Kunyari si Alma or si Peter next
Oh,
week.
actually,
Maganda
I
yan, may
wanted to
case,
use
no?
I wanted to use the name Brittany, actually, but I thought,
Ano ba? Okay. Hindi, pero maganda kasi example niyan. These are real examples naman talaga na ito yung mga situations na
yeah,
nangyayari naman eh. Kaya lang we have to hide their names, no? Para sa ano. So, ayan, well. Okay ka na, attorney. Tapos na?
yeah. So, other than thank you for
Oo.
watching, thank you for joining us. And talaga, I'm always humbled by the fact na you give your time and you very kindly watch us for the time that we're on. So I'm grateful. Salamat po.
Ayan. Uy, andyan na yung email address ni attorney. Ito yung ating first unang bumati winner. Ayan, si Cora Carsola, si Ma'am Cora Carsola, no, from London. Thank you, no. Ito yung ating mga very, very masugid na mga supporters and friends who are really still with us, no, na nanonood. Ito may pahabol na pagbati lang dito. Ito si pangalan nito. Si Daisy Diego. Siyempre, mga kasi yung bang tipong nagpaalam na tayo, tapos biglang andyan pala babate, no, attorney. So parang, di ba, it's nice to at least naihabol pa natin sila. Okay, ayan.
Actually,
Hello, Attorney Lira and Kuya Sunny. Happy Thursday po. Daisy
yeah,
Diego, no? Ayan.
yeah.
Daisy, mabuhay ha. Thank you. At tinabol kita. Nakita kitang nag-message. So, thank you very much. Okay. Meron pa ba mga pagbati rito? Tingnan ko lang. Baka meron pa. But, alam mo, nakakaanong, sandali lang ha. Last, tignan natin kung meron pa. Ito, meron pa. Okay. Okay. Ayan. Teka muna. Sabi ni Marie Grace Payumo Sorila, good evening po. Bumabati siya.
Good
Okay.
evening po.
All right. Okay, dokie. All right. Good evening. Yes. Yes. Ito lang. Marie Grace Payumo, no? Meron pumasok siya. Ayun. Okidoki. Ayan, thank you very much, no? Maraming salamat, no? I just would like to show them, minsan kasi hindi pumapasok yung messages eh. Ito yung attorney eh. Ito yung sequence na pinapakita natin na ito yan eh. Ito lang. We just want to show them. Hindi, okay na. Nag-echo. Okay. Anyway, yes, maraming salamat. Thank you very much, no? Okay. Well, I guess it's time for us to say goodbye. Nako, it's a happy Thursday talaga every time, no? And excited tayo, nakikita natin din si attorney. Siyempre, dahil ibig sabihin yan, immigration time na naman tayo. And even if hindi kayo apektado, it's worth knowing this information. No? Dahil, who knows, at one point later on in the future, either kayo or kakilala nyo, medyo magkaroon ng ganyang concern, no? At yan, we can direct them to Attorney Lira, no? For an expert advice and help. So, I guess it's time for us to say goodbye. Maraming salamat ho doon sa mga taong nagsusuporta, nagtiyaga, who na sumama sa atin, nanood, no? Thank you very much at Yes, so we're also really, really uh, thankful na nandiyan kayo, no? And that's the reason why kami ni attorney, si attorney most especially, pinagbubuti yung kanyang yung mga topics na kanyang dinidiscuss sa atin, no? Ayun, medyo mabigat lang pakinggan yung mga section 11B, ganun, mga ganyan, mga section 55, no?
Oo.
At marami pang iba, no? May mga paragraph 27, ADE, paragraph 4, mga ganun. Pero okay lang ho yun. Kasi she has to quote them para verbatim, para nang sa ganun to tell us na ito yung pwede nating gamiting mga ano, no? Sabi mo kasi immigration law and also mga ano ba, may mga sinasabi kayo, mga case laws, no? That's applicable.
Oo.
Ayan. Kaya ganun
Mm-mm.
ka-extensive ang explanation ni attorney na maski ako, at least nalilinawan ako kanina, naguluhan ako sa settlement, pre-settlement. Ayan, at least ngayon, naintindihan ko na. Okay. All right. So we'll see you again next Thursday for another happy Thursday. In the
Yun
meantime,
na.
enjoy the rest of the evening. Keep safe and well. No, ingat ho. Let's always remember hands, face, and space. No, let's do our bit so that we can have a wonderful Christmas. Dahil kung hindi ho, baka mamaya lockdown all the way till Christmas time, and we wouldn't want to do that because we want to be with our families and loved ones, no, on Christmas Day. Ayan, malapit na, attorney, Christmas, ha? Christmas na, malapit na.
Yeah.
Oh, it's gonna be
Yeah.
happy, ano. Okay, well, we'll see you next Thursday. Thank you. God bless and have a nice evening. Bye.